In every age, humanity has watched the horizon, searching for signs. Some in the stars, others in the shifting winds of history. For centuries, prophecies have whispered of a day when events would converge, painting a picture so clear that only the blind could deny it. We've spoken about the perfect red heifer, a rare, flawless creature that has stirred the prophetic world. But the red heifer is not a prophecy in isolation. It's a key. And like all keys, it opens something larger, something monumental. The Hebrew prophets, from Isaiah to Ezekiel, warned of days when nations would rise against nations, when Jerusalem would be at the center of world attention. They spoke of a time when the temple would stand again, not just as a symbol of worship, but as a central player in the unfolding of God's final plan. The red heifer, approved and unblemished, is a ritual requirement for purification before the rebuilding of the temple. For some, this is just ancient tradition. For others, it is the first domino in a chain reaction that could ignite prophetic events foretold thousands of years ago. But the signs don't stop there. While the red heifer grazes quietly in Israel, the nations rage. Wars, alliances, political tensions, each move like pieces on a chessboard. And over it all, the scriptures seem to whisper, "Watch, for the time is near." We live in an age of speed. News travels instantly, information spreads in seconds, and yet the ancient prophecies unfold with the same steady pace they always have. Step by step, sign by sign. My friends, we must ask ourselves, are we living in the very days that prophets longed to see? Are we the generation that will witness the culmination of thousands of years of prophecy? Because make no mistake, history is not random. It is a story, a divine story, moving toward its final chapter. And the events we are seeing now are not separate headlines. They are connected threads in a tapestry that is almost complete. In the next segment, we will connect these signs: the red heifer, the temple, and the geopolitical storm brewing in the Middle East, and uncover why many believe these events could be the opening scenes of the final act. Stay with me! The earth is speaking, prophecy is in motion, and the clock is ticking. As we speak, the red heifer grazes quietly somewhere in Israel, a living sign that the ancient purification rituals of Numbers 19 could once again be performed. Without it, temple worship cannot be restored. With it, the pathway to the third temple is cleared. But here's the question. Why now? Why has a prophecy thousands of years old suddenly come alive in our generation? The Temple Mount is the most contested piece of real estate on earth. Jews, Muslims, and Christians all hold it sacred, but for different reasons. Any move toward rebuilding the Jewish temple would send shockwaves across the globe. And yet, whispers are growing louder. Plans for the temple are being discussed. Ritual objects are ready. Priests are being trained. Everything is waiting for the right moment. The red heifer is more than an animal. It's a trigger. Its ashes, when prepared according to biblical law, will purify the site and the people for temple service. Once that happens, prophecy moves from theory to reality. At the same time, the Middle East is a powder keg. Tensions between Israel and Iran are escalating. The world's superpowers are taking sides. Rumors of peace, treaties, and new alliances emerge, just as Daniel and Ezekiel foresaw. Ezekiel 38 describes a coalition of nations coming against Israel in the last days. Many of those nations already stand in clear opposition today. It's not a matter of if. It's a matter of when. And here's the sobering truth. Prophecy doesn't pause for convenience. It doesn't wait until the world is ready. When the moment comes, it comes. The red heifer could be that moment. Think of it like the first rumble before an earthquake. The world carries on as usual, but deep beneath the surface, forces are moving. Forces that will change everything. In the next and final part, we explore what might happen if the temple is rebuilt in our lifetime. The chain reaction it could set off in religion, politics, and prophecy. The signs are here. The pieces are moving. and the storm is almost upon us. Imagine waking up one morning to headlines that shake the world. Construction begins on the third temple. 4 believers in Bible prophecy. This would be no ordinary news. It would be the signal that the prophetic clock has struck the final hour with the ashes of the perfect red heifer prepared. Purification would be complete. The altar would be consecrated. Temple services could begin. And from that moment, prophecy would accelerate. But the rebuilding of the temple, wouldn't it just be a spiritual milestone? It would be a political earthquake. The Muslim world would see it as a direct challenge to the Dome of the Rock. Nations would be forced to take sides. Violence could erupt across borders. The book of Daniel speaks of a coming ruler who will make a 7-year covenant, a peace deal, but will break it halfway through. Could this leader rise amid the chaos sparked by the temple's return? Could we be witnessing the stage being set for the Antichrist? Jesus warned in Matthew 24, "When you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by the prophet Daniel, let those in Judea flee to the mountains." If the temple is rebuilt, it also becomes the stage for this ultimate act of defilement. That's why many prophecy scholars believe the third temple is not only inevitable, it is essential for the final chapters of history to unfold. And while the world watches Jerusalem, other signs intensify. Wars and rumors of wars, economic instability, moral decay and lawlessness, natural disasters increasing in frequency. It's as if creation itself is groaning, echoing the words of Romans 8:22. The red heifer, the temple, the rising global storm. These are not isolated events. They are threads in a single tapestry. A tapestry woven thousands of years ago by prophets who spoke under the inspiration of God. And that tapestry is nearly complete. The question is not just what's coming, but are you ready? In the days ahead, history will not slow down for those who are unprepared. The prophecies are moving, one after another, toward a climax unlike anything the world has seen. We can't stop what's written! But we can choose how we respond. We can turn fear into faith, chaos into clarity, and prophecy into preparation. The Earth prophecy is not a story of doom, but of destiny. And you, right now, are living in the pages of the final chapter. Stay watchful, stay ready, and remember, when prophecy is in motion, there's no turning back.